Let me see. Do I have it all? Luggage, check. Papers from Flawn, check. Lock of hair from Galwinia, check. My dear, I shall return soon, and I will bring back something special for you. I will see you soon, and I will be sure to talk to your brother. My master awaits. Fellas, are you ready for the Dungeon Dads podcast?
Woo!
All
Yeah,
right,
baby.
baby.
Heroes rise, heroes fall. I see 'em on the front line, standing tall. They're risking life and limb to answer the call. But what they fighting for? Don't know, don't care. Just along for the ride, but everyone must stand. I'ma make sure I'm gonna win inside.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. As always, I am your DM, Thom Blaylock, and I am joined today by John Watson playing Jonas Silverwind, Ionus Silhavind,
Oh, man.
the survivor of the Temple on Robert's Gift.
Feeling so good about it, too. My gosh.
Oh, man. I'm feeling good, too.
You're a survivor. You're not going to give up.
Yeah.
You're not going to stop. You're going to work harder.
I'm going to work harder. What?
Tim Carr playing Filnir Omajira, the sprinter of the Temple on Robert's Gift.
Yes, now standing there with a longbow in his hand, looking around like,
Wait,
Oh.
What
what happened?
What? And
Here comes
Sam,
Bring on the Darkness?
yeah. Turn out the light. And Sam Frank, the spirit, the spirit drinker.
Perhaps
of
the guardian
temple,
of Jonas's spirit?
Guardian of
There it
Jonas's
is,
spirit.
there it
That's
is.
good. That's it. That's it. That's it.
Protect the king. I just want to take this moment to say that after 44 episodes, I feel like the theme song has only gotten better.
I love the theme song.
I just had a similar thought.
I keep thinking I'm going to get sick of it, but I actually just keep liking it more.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I mean,
I love it.
It sounds better over the feed now than I feel like it has in 44 episodes for whatever reason. But
That's
I'm
the
just
truth,
so
too.
glad. I'm just glad that John and I worked together on that. I love that I got to just throw that sort of menacing voice under there at one point. It's just like, it's just so fun. There's just layers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a lot of layers.
And now everybody's
So
going to
good.
rewind and hear the intro again.
Yeah,
Wait,
right.
what voice? What the heck is he talking about? I've never heard it.
That's right. That's right.
Listen, it's like an onion.
Yes.
What about
How is
parfait?
it- How is it like onions?
Parfait's have layers.
Well, here's what
And
I'd
in
like
case
to do.
you didn't know before now, you're listening to Dungeon Dads. If Shrek references don't bring it home for you, the podcast that your player has skipped over to is now Dungeon Dads.
I mean, 4 minutes in, and there are 2 from many years ago.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right,
right.
let's go. Let's go.
All right, so here's what I like to do. Let me just give you the stuff. All right, I'm going to assume you've searched
the
these
stuff
bodies.
that we got from the archers. And
Yeah,
from
I'm
the
going to assume you
assassins.
searched these bodies.
Yeah.
There
And then we
is-
just, the first person to say dibs gets to hold it.
Yeah. Okay. So let's do Blackjack first. Blackjack has 3 potions of greater healing.
Nice.
Dibs.
Okay. There you go.
I'm 100 and something feet away, so I'm very slowly walking.
No.
my way over there.
We're gonna hand wave. Galen's even
no,
gonna
but
be
sure,
gone.
but they're gonna pat that
Okay.
fucker down.
Oh, wait,
before I-
Galen's
Come on now.
gone. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give you the information that you got from Galen, and I want to get straight to Mr. Percy arriving.
And
Yeah.
we're just going to assume we tactfully did not bring up the fact that he may be responsible for spreading the Grove Relash's darkness and is marching these people there.
100%. This is things you probably will not say to him. Yeah.
I don't think he's hanging around long enough for us to
For-
have that conversation, right?
And he did fling those guys around like rag dolls. So.
Yes,
Like
he sure
if we
did.
if we have a beef with him, what are we gonna do about it?
Yeah. Especially after what you just went through.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
so
man, I'm an impossible burger.
you got
No beef, baby.
No beef.
That was amazing.
That's great. So in the bonus episode, I told you about the Quiet Dark, which is the vicious short sword of Blackjack Koigo, and it has a couple of interesting properties to it. It actually spreads. It actually is almost invisible in dim light or darkness, and when you
To
pull
be
it,
fair, most things are invisible in darkness.
well, but dim light, it's very
Yeah,
dark.
no.
It's a very dark.
What
And-
does that confer mechanically? Anything or just some flavor?
So it's mechanically in that you could be walking with it at night out, and someone would not know that you were walking with a short sword drawn in your hand. So
Got it.
it's particularly good for assassins.
Right.
Maybe not as good for any of you guys because you're all such like lawful good do-gooders, just kidding.
Yeah.
And then
We
the
never
other
kill
thing,
nobody.
the other thing is has a mechanical benefit to it is it's not a full-on like one of Filnir's old emeralds, but it has a silencing effect on it that muffles sound, and it gives you a +1 to your stealth checks when you have it out, when you have it drawn from the sheath.
I mean, I'm probably the only one that would use short swords in the group.
But it's not a magical short. I mean, it doesn't give you a plus anything to hit. And don't you
Well,
do that with your?
if I make it my packed weapon, it does get a +1.
Oh, so this could be cool then. This would be a really good thing. But then you wouldn't be able to create the bow or whatever, right?
I have to, you know what? I'd have to look at what happens if I decide to make a bow. I think what
it
happens
appears
is
at your feet or something.
Well, I think what happens is if I've got it vanished, like shunted to another plane, it would appear at my feet if I made another packed weapon.
I see.
I think if it was in like a scabbard, it would stay there. It would lose those magical properties until I actually sat down with it and then made it my packed weapon again.
That's
if
cool.
that makes sense.
That's cool. Yeah.
You can keep going. I'll look it up.
But the other thing is this is not a when you crit. This is a when you roll a natural 20.
Isn't
on
that
an
when
attack
you crit?
with it? Well, except you get no. Listen,
Oh,
you get
If you
not
get
the
a crit
19s.
on a 19.
Uh-huh.
if you crit on a 19, it doesn't give you this benefit, but you get an extra 2d6 damage on a natural 20. Now you double those dice because you critted, so it's not just 2d6. It's actually 4d6 when you do this. So it's a nice benefit when you roll a natural 20. So that's the Quiet Dark. The other thing he has is a very tiny little leather sack, and it's got about it's about an inch and a half or 2 inches in diameter at the top, and when you pinch it, it opens up. It's got this metal mouth jaw thing on it, and it has 9,000 gold inside of it in an alternate plane. This is
It's a purse of plethoras?
it's a purse of plethoras.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Yeah. And the other thing inside this purse of plethoras, besides the 9,000 gold, is a letter. And the letter is it is written in a hand that you do not recognize. There's nothing you're going to be able to learn from this except that it has 22 names on it. You don't recognize very many of these names. A couple of them you do. You see Jesus written on there. You see Galwinia written on there. And you see Felipe Madamba on there. And finally, you see added later, clearly, you see Ionus Silhavind on there. And some of these names are marked out, and some of them are still there. and that's it. That's what you see in that.
We can
letter.
tell which names are marked out, right?
Yes, you can. You can.
Any that we recognize are marked out?
No, none that you recognize. There is. Actually, yes, there is one that you recognize. That's marked out. Walter Faust is marked out.
Got it.
My bad.
Yeah.
Maybe you can collect a bounty on that.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Although
and
Walter
then-
might come back to dispute it. Yeah.
and then you find a light crossbow on him, and a vial of some poison. And then from the archers, they are both wearing breastplates, and they when you sort of examine the breastplates, you see that they have Hark insignia on the inside of the breastplates, and they are wearing red tunics under their breastplates, and they have long swords, plain long swords, and they all have longbows, and there are 50 arrows total that are there.
Nice.
I don't remember how many quivers I have, but I guess I could just take the arrows in my backpack.
Yeah, you have, so that they each had 3 quivers.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And it's just you 50 arrows total are there. They were belt mounted. So
Yeah.
So these sort of dangle. These are war quivers. These are not hunting quivers. So these are the kind of quiver that you would get down on a knee, you would take it off. It has a leg to prop it up on it, so you could be down on the ground and then be drawing from the quiver off the ground.
Got it.
So it's
Right.
got it's like a tripod on it. It's a little unwieldy if you were trying to hunt with it, but it's a very nice quiver for war, especially for a longbowman.
So I looked up this packed weapon thing, Tom, and I guess the question that I have is Quiet Dark considered a magical weapon?
Let's see. Yes, it is a magical weapon.
Okay. So what that means is, so I can create like plain weapons out of thin air, right? That's how I
Okay.
make the longbow. It just takes an action. But I can make something else my packed weapon, but it takes an hour. So
Okay.
basically, but it has to be a magical weapon, which makes
Okay.
sense because otherwise, like, you can just make a plain one.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So why would you waste an hour on a non-magical weapon? So basically I could make that my packed weapon, and then sorry, I have to double check if it gets what happens if so it says the weapon ceases to be my packed weapon if I perform the 1 hour ritual on a different weapon, or if I use a 1 hour ritual to break my bond to it, or if I die.
Okay.
So presumably making a different packed weapon appear in my hand would not break that bond with it because
Okay.
because
I don't want you to have to break that bond with it. That's sucky. Like, what's the point of being a
well, it
Pact
just
the
means
Blade
it would be
warlock
like
if you can't.
it would just be a regular weapon from that, so it wouldn't use
Right.
my charisma bonus. It would use
Right. Right.
it would use
Right.
my strength. So yeah, assuming nobody else wants that, I will take that and look into it. I mean, with Shadow of Moyle, it basically makes it invisible, which I know doesn't offer any sort of extra advantage, but it's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. That's awesome.
Those are the magic words for Tom. It doesn't
Yeah.
confer any advantage, but it's cool.
It's flavor.
Well, I mean, you guys are creative fellas. I know, I have a feeling you will come up with something creative, way to use this that will confer a mechanical advantage for having an invisible blade. That is my guess. There is a spell that causes your blade to become invisible. It is in Dark Souls. It is not in this game, but it is still a spell, and it's cool as shit. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Right. So I'll take that. And then I'm assuming we're splitting the gold, or are we keeping it in the,
Right.
what'd you call
That's
Who
a lot
said
of
dibs?
Well, I dibs.
Well, here's the thing.
He wants the pouch.
Like
The pouch of plentiful
the way I'm
pennies.
picturing this is like almost like a Pez dispenser for gold coins.
Yeah.
So like we have no idea how much is in there unless we sit there and ching ching ching.
Oh,
That's
that's
true.
true.
Yeah.
We might
I should
just
have told you it's 9,000, but
we
it's a lot.
might just assume that it's like an infinite purse of coins.
Right.
Yes, yeah.
We're just dancing.
It brings new brings a new idea to the bring your money maker.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, that's how you should play it. That's how you should play it. You think it's an infinite wellspring of gold. I think that's awesome.
I mean,
Just
by the
keep
time
track
we
of it.
spend that much, it basically will be.
It basically
No,
is, right?
we've got all the dead bodies like there, and I'm like, hark, the heraldry, my king. Put your gold into this thing.
Oh, okay. Last thing you have, as promised, is the perfume of bewitching.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, which you chose not to buy, but now you get because he did.
Yep.
He did.
Dibs.
He has the true death.
I mean, should we go back to Balgriff and see how much he'll give us for all these breastplates and nice longbows?
Sure. You have.
What about Jonas's store?
It's about 8
Oh my
PM.
god!
Yeah.
If that's even a thing, that's like in the middle of Hark territory. Force to pass.
That fort is gone.
It's gone.
Thinking back to the business model of hunting down deserters, taking their military issued equipment, and selling it back to the military at a steep
Yeah,
markup.
that's right.
It's a no-fail business plan right there.
Yeah. So, so let me know. I mean, I'm really happy.
What about Jonas's store?
So I am very happy to hand wave to midnight. But if you would like to go back to the caravan one last time,
Are you willing to hand wave some gold into our pockets for the gear?
you have like, why would you even want that money? You have an unlimited supply, a bottomless wellspring of gold Pez dispenser.
Yeah, but it's in
I'm just imagining Jonas
Jonas's
be like,
hand
look,
right now.
look at this trick. I can take gold. And there's
Yes.
more.
Yeah.
And there's
Yeah.
more. And there's more. Why do people need stores?
Abel, I'm making it rain. They start throwing it in the sky.
To me, my lord, to me.
All of a sudden, he's BB-8 in the casino. He's ping, ping,
That's
ping, ping,
right.
ping, 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 ping.
So I'm wondering, my only problem is I'm wondering why I wouldn't storm my ass back down to, especially when Paulson said I've got the tears on me. What does that mean?
Oh my
Yeah,
god,
the midnight tier. Yeah, that's
Yep.
true.
With all the gold, we forgot that you're in mortal danger.
I'm still in mortal
That's
danger.
right.
We
That's
went all
right.
Scrooge McDuck, and you're just like, no, I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
King
What if-
Jonas, people have told me that I look good when I back that thing up.
Yes, but back to reality. Paulson, what's wrong with me? What's happening?
One of my old masters used to use this kind of a poison. It strikes at midnight. Anyone who's touched it, including Pawson now, is affected by it.
What does it do, Paulson?
When the moon is at its highest place, it causes a burning sensation and does a great deal of damage. And it also sometimes leaves you with scarred redness wherever it touched.
Will these new potions help?
Yes, did your master ever make a mistake and have to remove it?
No, I don't think so.
Tom was just going to hand wave us to midnight.
I know.
That's some
Freaking asshole.
bullshit.
And Jonas's head catches fire.
All right, I think Jonas is going to mount Pawson. And
Hey, it's not John. It's not that kind of show. Listen,
What did you say, Tundick?
yeah.
exactly.
Okay, fair enough, Tim.
So Jonas is going to mount Pawson, and he's going to say, the people that have done this to us are there. Let us feast.
And he looks back at you, Filnir. May I ride with him, master?
Ionus, I would caution there were a lot of dwarves, and we have only just survived a battle. Galen is on our side, but...
So I tell Galen that I've been poisoned by more of his caravan. Maybe they have an antidote.
I support that. Let's go. Pawson, take him.
So tell me, is he going to ride ahead of you guys as fast as Pawson's legs will carry him?
That's up to
Sounds like it.
John, I think.
Okay.
King Jonas, I implore you, accuse this miscreant in the eyes of the entire wagon train. Do not take the law into your own hands. That is neither kingly nor prudent.
I run to the edge where they first saw us. Well, I guess they were a little ways down, but from on high, I boom minor illusion. The king of Monterre has been poisoned. One of you have done this.
All right.
Wait, don't we know who did it? I thought we knew who did it.
I think.
Yes, but
Clear.
we're reading it out in
gotcha.
front of everyone.
Okay. And I use thaumaturgy to do some earth tremors.
Okay. Cool.
And then meanwhile, Abel and Filnir are like running to catch up.
Yeah.
And Paulson and I slowly start walking down the hill toward Galen.
Ionus, I know what Master said. I do plan on biting her face off.
Let us wait until the final moment, Paulson. Filnir was right. We are seriously outnumbered. Let us see what Master Galen has to say. Master Galen!
So you're gonna make your way to the caravan. Galen comes out, and he is in full glory in the middle of the night. So his cloak mirrors the night sky. So it's almost like he is a sort of a walking star chart of the stars where you are in this moment. And it's not only his cloak, but his body is glowing in the darkness. There's no way you could ever put it together that during the daytime he's sheathed in darkness. And he comes out.
But just to be clear, it's nowhere close to the middle of the night.
It's like 9 p.m. now.
Yeah.
It's dark. Monterran, we heard your message. What say you?
Clearwater and Dreed Clearman are behind an assassination attempt. Another on my person.
Oh, I find that very hard to believe. Dreed is not the kind.
And what about Clea?
I don't know her well.
In an attempt to gain their favor, I allowed her to anoint me, and now I have midnight tears all over my head.
Come, let me see. And he doesn't touch you, and he sort of sniffs at you. And well, actually, you're up high on a fucking wolf.
I'm gonna
Sorry.
Dismount. I'm gonna.
How
dismount.
How far behind are we? Have we caught up?
Not yet, but
we're
you're
few
coming.
hundred yards back. Don't let him anoint you, Jonas. Jonas, no anointing.
He says, you seem like the sort who has a rather strong carriage of your soul. Perhaps this will do next to nothing to you. But you are correct. These are midnight tears. The smell is hidden in lavender. and I think cinnamon. You say Clea did this to you.
She did indeed.
Well, they follow Gerelta, the god of roads and distance, and poisoning on the god's road is an offense that brings with it death. Come, I will speak with you and her, and we will do this. We will do this according to the rules of the road.
Let us go then.
So Filner's going to cast Edgar's Detect Thoughts as he's
Okay.
coming down the hill.
Okay, nice. All right. What are you doing? Are you looking for invisible people? Are you trying to detect thoughts on
I think he's mostly interested in hearing what Clea is thinking.
Okay.
And then obviously, if there's any sort of ill intent that kind of pops into his head from somebody, I think he would want to be aware of it now because he's clearly less trusting of this caravan than he was earlier.
Okay. All right. So you make your way back to the dwarves, and they have circled up, and they are holding shields and axes, and most of them do not look like they really know how to hold these things. And Dreed steps forward and says, "My wife is dying. You are right, she poisoned you, but in touching the oil, she also has become poisoned. Please accept her death here tonight as payment and do nothing else to my clan."
I do not understand. Why would she poison herself? Was she unaware that the poison was there?
Let me speak to my wife.
Can I reach out mentally?
Yeah. To him?
I want to hear what she thinks when he asks her that question.
Okay. When he goes,
when he says, like, I mean, I don't know exactly what he's going to ask, but I assume it's something like what John asked, right? What Jonas asked, which is like, what were you thinking? Was this what you thought it was?
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So he goes back, and so they have created a circle around her, basically, and she is lying down, and she is not looking good. Her hands are red. Where she put it on her wrist is purplish and it's like bubbling up a bit. And he says, "Clea, my love, why would you do this? Why would you take your own life in this way?" And she's quiet for a minute, and Filner, her surface thoughts are, "I'm sorry, my love." And then she has the thought of her son Dreed, same name as his father, being cut down at the Battle of the Bands.
Okay.
And she says, "That's his son, Dreed. That's the son of the man who took our boy. I know, wife, but it doesn't mean he has anything to do with it. Little Dreed did all sorts of things that had nothing to do with me. And I him. Why would you leave me like this?" And she says, and her thoughts match up perfectly to this. She says, "I swore if I ever thought I could get back at that dirty man, I would do so." And
Can I
yeah, go ahead.
Can I dig in a little bit deeper?
Yep.
With this intelligence check thing. Then we got to do.
And what do you want to look for here?
Well, as I do that, I'm going to yell out, "Is there a cure?"
Okay.
So that if it just happens to cross her mind, even for a fleeting moment, I catch it.
Okay. Okay, so she got a 13 on her saving throw. What's your spell save DC?
My spell save DC is 16.
Okay, so then she doesn't feel it. So you go deeper.
Right. Okay, so I go deeper, and she doesn't make the save, and as I call out, I say, "What's the antidote?"
and in her mind, she flits over, um, uh, walking through the brizotes of Monterre and collecting the moss and mold from the rocks deep below ground and cooking this into a poison. And she sort of thinks to herself, I wish there was a cure. What have I done? I wish I hadn't done this. I'm leaving my husband right when we're getting a second chance.
Okay.
And she stands up, and Dreed helps her up, and Dreed says, we follow Gerelta. If the aggrieved party decides to take her life before the poison does, then he has every right. She is guilty. King Silverwind, Silhavind, I beg of you to give me 2 hours with my wife before she passes.
And I'll relay what I've sort of mentally discovered to Jonas and tell him that there's no antidote that she's aware of.
And she's not certain that Jonas is going to die. She is certain she is going to die, but she is not certain that Jonas is going to die. But he's going to get real fucking sick.
I believe my father continues to make problems for us all. I turned to Galen. I'm at your mercy. There are now 3 of us afflicted with this. If you can, please save this dwarf woman and save the wolf. If you cannot save me, I'll just deal with it. Can you do anything?
Midnight tears are powerful poison. The good news is it just wrecks the body, and then it is done. So the way to deal with this is to prepare yourself for a violent evening of vomiting, diarrhea, and a fire burning on your skin where it is touched. Did you ingest this, or was it just a surface touch?
It was just surface for me.
Did she put her fingers, she rubbed it on you, did she put her fingers inside of your body anywhere, your mouth, your ears, anywhere?
She just touched my earlobes and my head. Paulson licked me, but he spat it out, but...
Come to the front. You and you. Dreed, bring your wife.
All right, we go. I go.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll join.
Priest.
So I will also just say, I'm assuming right now that this is not a condition that lesser restoration will help with.
So it is,
because they don't really have the poisoned condition.
He does not have the
right
poison
now.
condition.
It's
So,
like a ticking time bomb.
yes. So when you get to the front of the line, Galen opens up his tent and says, come in, priest, warlock, but all of you come in. He says, I will do my best. I can cure your wounds from your fight. The best chance you have is to load up, carbo load on hit points. This poison is going to hit all at once.
Anything.
This poison is going to hit all at once. You'll need as much strength as you can possibly muster. If you have any way of giving yourselves extra, bringing yourself above your normal threshold for pain.
Abel, start talking.
Well, so first off, so here's the thing: is I'm geared for small little heals, quick little heals, as opposed to slow big heals.
We have potions.
We got the 3 potions, of greater healing.
That's true.
You got a couple of hours. You could do a short rest, right? I mean, you could do a short rest.
Oh,
That's true.
Spin some hit dice, and
Can I change my prepared spells on a short rest? I forget.
I think that's a long rest for you.
I think it's day to day, isn't it, for a cleric?
Yeah, I think that's right.
So like I've got healing word, but I don't have cure wounds.
Mhm.
I've got prayer of healing, which is not efficient, but I do have a lot of second level spell slots hanging out.
I mean, we got how many potions from Blackjack?
We got three from Blackjack.
And I have 2 greater healings, 1 healing.
And we're
And
gonna
we have
try to get
revivifies too.
we're trying to get all
We do
three
have
of you
Revivify.
through it though, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It's
But-
a big hit of poison.
Right.
And you know, revivify is not an option on the NPCs, right?
Right.
Right.
So Pawson and Clea are in trouble.
Yeah, he doesn't have hit dice either. At least not on his character sheet, so I don't know how that would work.
Oh, he should.
Oh, sorry. On a short rest, John can use however many hit dice he wants, right?
Well, I was going to say I have 5 left.
10
so I'll
D10
use my
hit dice for Pawson. 10
Okay,
D10.
great.
D10. Good grief.
Large monstrosity.
Right? Man. So I'll use my hit dice. He can use his. We can give a healing potion to the dwarf. And maybe is it a situation where I can take a healing potion as the poison begins to hit me at midnight?
No, it's just gonna run right through you, man.
Yeah,
Right.
you're going to be completely incapacitated when this thing is hitting you.
That bright
Right.
red potion just spraying out over the plain.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, so I'll just sit down and begin taking my short rest.
I mean, temporary hit points are a good idea if you
Yeah,
have any way of getting
Yeah,
those.
so let me Jonas, while you're here and preparing and resting, while I'm digging this latrine trench, let me tell you a story. The moon begins to rise. And that's why it's always important to dig a latrine trench.
All right, I'll give you full.
So 12 temp, right?
14, right?
I think it's 12.
Yeah, I think it's 12. I was like,
was-
did I level
Oh,
up?
'cause he has-
It was 12 last
No.
time.
He has
Yeah.
14. Yeah,
Yeah.
he has 14 charisma. That's right.
It's
okay.
it's my level plus my charisma modifier, which is 2.
Okay. All right. So,
We're gonna get through this night, Jonas.
Yeah. I topped Pawson off with hit dice.
okay. All right. So, are we
I
ready to do it?
I brought 2 buckets, one for each
Oh.
end.
And this is
So I
also
brought
at midnight.
6
So this
buckets.
is so we also need to be doing Percy.
Yeah. You
Oh.
got to get ready for Percy at midnight.
Yeah.
All right. I'll tell Galen that there's something else happening at midnight and it's safe. It'll be fine, but we'll be distracted potentially.
Galen, do you have a fan?
Throughout the Breen Valley, many people look up to me and respect me. Yes.
No, a fan, like for blowing the heat off of yourself.
No, I do not. Is that something I should have?
Well, it might be useful for holding up in front of yourself for the next 30 minutes or so, because the shit may hit it. Things are about to get real hairy in here, man.
Ionus, give me the chest.
All right, I hand it to him.
Hache voila. Find an empty space. Make it big.
Okay. All right.
We're still inside the tent.
You hear in the chest, you hear it's like slurping sounds and and then you hear the occasional woman's voice, and you hear the occasional like older man's voice, and I'll be back soon. Don't worry. And you do in fact hear Galwinia's voice on the other side, and it's not sex sounds, but it's definitely making out. For sure making out.
I thought you were going to say they were having some ramen or something.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah, that's right.
It's the meal before he goes.
All right. So are we going to roll this damage? Are you guys ready for it?
Which damage?
The poison damage.
Is there Percy damage too?
While this is happening, Filnir's going to direct his thoughts at Jonas to make sure there's no instructions that he's missed on this chest.
Okay, that's smart. That's good.
And also say, Ionus, do I need to open the walkway or anything else on the chest? And just sort of see what, like, even if he doesn't answer me because this poison is hitting, at least he'll have that momentary, like, oh yeah, this.
Yeah, he shows you, I mean, in his mind, he sees the button to push, and he sees that, like, it's basically just at midnight telling Percy it's time to walk through.
Right. Do I need to press the south side to open the walkway?
I think that is correct. I think that is the button to push.
Notes,
I don't have my notes. I don't have my notes open, but yes, I think that is correct.
Okay. I will do that when the time comes.
Okay. And Dreed is there, and he's holding Clea, and Clea is shaking. She's shaking, and she is, you know, she's not as hardy as you are, even though she's a dwarf. And the damage is going to be, because she's a dwarf, the damage is going to be halved here. But
they're resistant to poison.
But she did fail her saving throw, which was a DC 17, which is very high. And so it's going to be half of this. Oh, it's so many guys. All right.
Do you have enough dice?
I do. Okay. So she is going to take 18 damage. She had 8 hit points plus the 12, which is 20. She is shitting and throwing up, and she's screaming out.
In the pit. That's what the pit is for.
My skin is boiling. Oh, it's awful.
It's fine.
It's awful. And she rolls over into the pit and is throwing up straight in the pit. And she looks like she's alive. Pawson, how many hit points does he have?
87.
Oh,
nice.
And he's going to take...
He has enough, even if every roll was a 6.
Yeah. All right. He's going to take 32 damage.
Okay.
All right. And... All right. And Jonas, you're going to take 24 damage.
And you said I already failed the con save?
You failed the con save straight away. I was cheeky when I had you roll it.
You rolled it last episode.
Yeah, you rolled last episode. You got a 15, I think.
That's a low roll.
Yeah, that's
low.
So
I got super lucky.
You got 24 hit points. Now here is the problem. You cannot heal these hit points until the next midnight.
Wow, until the next midnight. So the long rest doesn't do anything.
Cannot heal them until the next midnight. Okay. And you also are just struck. You're throwing up. You're feeling awful. And Filnir has opened the stairway, and Percy comes out, and he is wearing a breastplate, and he has a large backpack with him and a small chest. And he comes out and he says, Oh, Master, it was awful. It was just awful being without you. Oh, wait. And he looks around and he sees you throwing up in the ground. And
your master needs your comfort, Percy.
And he rushes over. He rushes over and begins to like stroke your head. and stroke your back, and he needs to roll a saving throw.
No.
Damn it.
I feel like we would have caught him.
Why
and
didn't
said,
you grab him?
I mean, how many? I got like 3 seconds.
Not his earlobes. He didn't stroke his earlobes for sure.
All right, and
Oh, Jesus.
and it's midnight.
Tom's wanted to kill Mr. Percy for
it's
so long.
midnight. It's midnight. He fails his saving throw.
Damn it.
That's 32 damage.
This is fucked up, Tom.
That is
Mr.
seriously.
Mr.
Because it's
Percy.
after midnight, clearly.
Mr.
If this all hits
Percy.
once,
Mr. Percy looks around and says, "Why are you looking at me like this? Come help Master.
you can't
Come
touch
help
him.
Master."
We've already helped him.
Percy.
He'll
No,
be fine.
Percy. Get away.
Master. Yeah.
Thanks, John. Thanks,
That was- yeah. All right. So
Oh,
you're
that sounded like it was gonna itch when it dried.
yeah.
Don't worry, Abel. I have pressed it.
Oh no.
So I'm not gonna lie to you. You're gonna have to sleep this one off, John. Jonas is not gonna be in any shape for going to the ton deck. Right now.
You just really don't want us to leave Robert's gift. You're
I
just
know, you don't want to see
No.
trying to make sure the season ends the way he sees it ending.
No, so the you sleep it off. Clea survives.
Wait a second. Wait.
Oh.
Wait a second. As everyone is throwing up and bodily fluids are flying everywhere. Lord Tempest, we require rest and comfort. And I go outside and begin chanting to Tempest.
Oh man, are you making the temple, the Templess?
It's going to take a while.
Okay, all right,
It's an hour.
all right,
Oh, wow.
all right. So they're throwing up. Dreed comes up to you, Jonas, and he's like about to say something, and he just kind of he looks over at you, Filnir. He says, "Your man has saved my wife's life tonight when she tried to take his. If he survives this, you can call on the Cleaman dwarves of Monterre. We will not go to our job if your master says he wants us somewhere else. But we have to seek our fortune somewhere. He has to promise us he can find us work."
Understood. Rest assured he will survive. He will make good. Your families will prosper. Take care of your wife.
"I will. Thank you so much."
Please see that she does not do this again.
"I don't think she will."
I am sorry for the loss of your son, and I'm sure Ionus feels it more than I do. His father has been, well, let's just say it's not his favorite person.
Silhavine's folly goes deep on this whole island.
Indeed. We are trying to make things better. We appreciate your help.
And he walks away, and Abel, you continue chanting, and John, you continue throwing up and having your diarrhea, and Percy's there. He's holding you, and he's cleaning you up as you go, and
Did he take that damage, or is he
I
going
mean,
to take that?
I
next
was
time?
fucking with you, man. I'm not killing Percy like that. That's not right.
I'm like, he's dead, man. Why would
Yeah.
you
It's
do this
absorbed.
to
It's
me?
gone.
Yeah,
It's
no,
1 second
it's-
after midnight. You're
yeah.
good. You're good.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not a gremlin situation.
Yeah, it's a magical poison. It's not. It's fine. He's fine.
We'll have words later.
And and Filnir, you're watching as this smoke begins to form this template that Abel is casting, and you feel a tap on your shoulder, and you hear someone say, "Well, goodness, Filner, this is a pretty happening evening here. Your king is dying. You've
Bobby,
been yes, it's
nope,
this
nobody is dying.
Oh, Bobby, thank God you're here. Come here. I need you to consult on some of these interior design decisions.
Why don't you go watch a temple appear, and maybe you can appreciate it for once in your life, instead of talking down about everything. Off you go.
You still have detect thoughts on, yeah?
Yeah.
Bobby's surface thoughts are the following. Gosh, Filnir is such a beautiful man, and I don't understand why he never acknowledges me. And we meet here in the middle of nowhere, and he doesn't even take the time to acknowledge the fact that our fates must be intertwined, and surely this newfound strength of character and also of body, obviously, he still just it won't even look at me.
I'll look at him right in his ocular nerve, and I'll say, Bobby,
Yes.
thank you. Go outside.
Okay.
Bobby, should we put in a sauna?
Wait. Yes. Let me come. Let me help you, sir.
Tempest would will it so.
Make it like a brizote. Yeah. So Bobby's going to help you, and the template is built. John, you're feeling better. You're not feeling great, but you are feeling better. And Mr. Percy is there, and he says, "Master, do not speak. Come. Master Abel, is the template ready?"
Only friends may enter. Yes.
That is me, obviously, but who else? Just us?
Yes, and all who seek aid and who have been injured this night, but no undead. I can choose one type of creature to exclude.
And you see, and Bobby calls out, and he says, Balgriff, yes, I can definitely get you in. I know the guy who built this. And
Tempest, I've partaken in glorious combat today, and now I seek my just repose.
And this temple is beautiful. It is exactly as you have made it. Sam, tell us what it looks like.
It's sort of austere on the outside, and, trusting to Abel's architectural instincts, none of the right angles are quite right angles. But then when you come inside, it's all incense and, cushions and, burning torches on the wall that actually glow a faint blue light. And there's a giant statue and altar of Tempest at the far end of the temple.
Awesome.
And mechanically, I think it only sort of confers two major things. One is no divination spells can find us in here.
Okay.
And two is any spells that are cast to regain hit points gain an additional amount equal to my wisdom modifier.
Oh, that's 4. Nice. That's awesome.
Wow.
But unfortunately, you guys can't be healed of the poison damage.
Right.
Can't do it.
But at least we've got a place to rest.
So
and then there's a sauna in the far corner. Not sure how the engineering works. You sort of picture it, and Tempest kind of makes it happen. And then there are these new rooms that I've really only heard about, but decided would be a good idea here, where there's sort of a bench with a hole in it, and then it just the hole goes down and actually ejects somewhere deep underground under the temple.
Yeah. Awesome.
I'm gonna take Mr. Percy and pull him away from Jonas. Tell him he just needs to rest. Let him sleep. We'll go hit the sauna, and I'll explain everything that's happened.
Awesome. Yeah. And
As they lay me down to bed, I'm like patting my ass and patting
Yeah.
patting parts of my body, just cleaning myself up, prestidigitation, and then
Yeah,
soiling
well,
it again.
and I should say, I mean, we've been sort of treating this as a fait accompli, but for those who don't remember, this is the ascended shield of the Tree of Tempest. Gives me the ability to, on a day in which I have partaken in glorious combat and emerged victorious, I can cast the spell Temple of the Gods, 7th level cleric spell.
Super awesome. Super awesome. Now, here's what happens on the inside of it. The Euron stone floats of its own accord 8 feet off the ground while you are inside the templus.
Does it follow him around, or it just floats to a spot and stays?
It floats to the exact geometric center of the temple, and you hear throughout the night calming whispers, as though someone that you love is reading to you your favorite childhood story from a great distance away, but you recognize their voice, and that's what you all hear.
I think it's a little bit of a stretch to say that if I suddenly heard that, I would find it calming, but I will take it.
Yeah. It creates a calming sensation in you, and that's what it sounds like. But it's the sensation is independent of the sound. It's like your mind is making sense of why you feel so calm.
So it's like, yeah, okay. So it's like I took a real good Xanax,
just like that. Yeah.
Like put on some smooth jazz.
And in the sauna, Percy.
Oh, and then I can get in the sauna.
Get in that sauna, yeah. And in the sauna, Percy says, "It's like he's been planning this for years. Florn has called out to many surrounding communities and asked them to come and join the fight with Jonas Silverwind, rightful king of Gilbrain. He has many swords, arrows, pieces of armor hidden in the forest where the Adarans and the Harkies could not find it. He has plans for a grand wall to encircle the city. And he's even decided to build a Ladybone warehouse and get into Ladybone there in Laken Hearth. He just needs men and money, and I believe that he wants to bring Laken Hearth to become the new Lake Shire of the Breen, the new central power."
I believe we have several problems that just solved each other.
And what has happened where you were?
Well, Florn has a chest full of our gold and needs men to build a wall. We have a bunch of men here who need to build a wall, don't have any gold.
Well, that is fortuitous. That's
almost as though it were fainted.
That's elvish for very good luck. And
La Vie en Rose, am I right?
And he looks over at you, Vilner, and he says, "I have another matter to discuss with you, friend."
What is that?
It seems that I might be able to convince your sister to remain here in the Gilbrain.
Wonderful.
I agree. I just need to know if it's okay for me to form a more intimate relationship with her.
I'm preparing the ceremony spell.
Mr. Percy, my sister's choices have always been her own. I've never thought I had much control over her choices, her actions. So if you make her happy, then you make her happy. And I will not stand in your way.
That
In
is
fact,
very good.
It would make me happy as well.
That is mighty elvish of you, and I appreciate it.
Give her that card, Percy.
As we're going to be here a while, is there anything else that has happened that we should know of? Anything else that has changed in the valley?
Not in Lakenhearth. I will say that Adair's troops now encircle Lakeshire, and they are attempting a siege, and Flawn does not believe it will go well for the Adarans, which he is quite happy about. One other thing, better not tell Jonas about Galwinia. I seen the way he looks at her, and I have, on more than one occasion, been with a lady that he fancied and had to erase from his memory said thing.
No. Oh, no, Percy. Percy.
Mr. Percy.
No, all the more reason to tell him sooner rather than later, before his
think
attachment
it is-
can grow greater.
I think it is his blessing you should be asking for, not mine. She's my sister, not my daughter.
Indeed, and he is so protective of you. He wishes nothing but your happiness.
I have been scorched by him before, for less.
He is a new man, Percy, and his love for you has only grown.
Perhaps you're right. Perhaps you're right. And Percy looks into the distance in your Templus, and he is ripped. Like, I know he's old, but he is a ripped old guy.
41 and just totally.
He's 41. His face literally looks like an old guy. He's like got wrinkles all over the place, but his body is ripped. Just
carrying all of Jonas's stuff around.
Yeah. I look forward to making use out of my greatest quality. Gentlemen, do you know what my middle name is?
Oh.
Don't you do
Jesus
it, Thom.
Christ. Don't. Jesus
And-
Christ.
And he whispers in your ear what his middle name is, and you all get a long rest.
Wait, before we do the long rest,
Oh, okay.
I'm going to
Wait,
cast...
I will just say for the listeners, I'm just going to say this. Thom has put Percy in as an NPC on our informational sheet here. And he put in a middle name that we have all insisted is not canon. And until it is said on the podcast, we are going to continue to insist that it is not canon.
Now is not the time for me to show you my greatest quality
Oh, God.
and ability.
will not begin to guess proclivities.
This is the danger of starting an episode late in the evening.
Okay, so basically the one thing I want to do before going to sleep is I'm going to cast Dream.
Oh, who are you going to cast it on?
Despo.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And I'm going to send Despo a vision of Adair being completely demolished in Lakeshire and the siege going completely poorly, and a warm welcome in Lakenhearth, and longevity, and her being herself. in the way that a dream wraps all of those things together that don't necessarily make sense, but hopefully that has
Put her wife,
a lingering.
put her wife in.
Well,
in
I don't
Lake
want
and
to do
Hearth.
that. That's fucking torture, man.
Yeah, it's bad.
Because I already know what's happened to her wife.
That's true. Oh, yeah, that's right. You do know.
Yeah, we
I
know.
forgot
Yeah.
about that. Yeah.
I forget if we told her or not.
We haven't told.
I
her.
don't think
We did not.
I don't think we did.
haven't
You
told
did
her.
not.
But this is not the time. So yeah, so that's
That's a good idea.
the vision I want to give Despo.
And she is asleep. I don't know if you need to know that or not, but she is currently asleep. She's in a tent about 900 feet away from the front gate of Lakeshire.
She's always
So
intense.
if Despo's asleep, I can actually converse with Despo.
Okay.
And I can shape the environment of the dream. So basically, like, I can talk Despo kind of through this stuff. Sorry, I'm reading it as I'm going. But the fact that she's asleep actually makes a difference, because that means I can send everything. And I could actually send somebody else too, but I'll do this myself.
Percy, marriage is a dream within a dream.
Marriage.
I think you're gonna love it. If you find something good in this world, you gotta hold on to it. Everything is so tenuous, balanced on a knife edge. We could all go at any time. You've got to grab the good things and hold on to them. Percy, do you hear what I'm saying to you?
Abel, I hear. My one concern is that I have known her but a few days, and I believe she might think me creepy if I propose to her so soon. I do think that I love many things about her, though.
Well, in these days of chaos and turmoil, people appreciate any kind of stability that can be offered to them. I think that the normal timelines may not be in operation here.
Well, I think once we get back from wherever we're going now, I plan to begin my life again in Lake and Hearth with her.
I want you to promise me this, Percy.
Okay.
When it's time to get married, I want to officiate.
Oh, I believe you would have to. Aren't you now Jonas's man? I see that you wear the prayer beads of Bonris. Oh, pardon me, the prayer beads of Abel.
Indeed I do. And I serve the man now both in spirit and in letter.
Oh.
Although my interpretation of both the letter and the spirit are sometimes different from his, and the good Lord Tempest gives me sufficient leeway in that regard.
Awesome.
There,
All right.
did that give you enough time to read up on Dream, Tim?
Yeah.
I was buying you
it's,
some time.
It's it's basically that, I'm the messenger in that, and then I can shape the dream and relay a message. So I don't think anything is that wildly out of whack. It's just that Despo would actually see me as part of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's so good.
All right. So are you gonna say anything specific to her in this thing as the messenger?
I mean, the only thing that really comes to mind is how much she hates deserters, and this would basically be asking her to desert. So I think Filnir would rationalize it somehow of, find a way to save yourself through the slaughter and then come to Lake and Hearth so that you don't have to leave, but you don't risk your life for nothing.
Well, these guys are her enemy too, aren't they?
Yeah, but she signed up with them,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Well, I feel like she was forced to.
Maybe. Anyway, that's all.
Okay.
I think,
All right.
I think it would be
Can
find a way to
do
get
a little
out.
Despo talking in her sleep, Tom?
Yeah. Sure.
Oh, Jesus. Whoa, that's freaky. Oh my God. That's a big fireball. Okay, yes. Oh, yeah. Oh. Good job, Spearshire. Good job, Spearshire. And she wakes up.
I've never been so glad I asked a question in my life.
And then I come out of the trance. That
Wait,
I'm in while
wait. I'm
doing
sorry.
that.
I did ask my wife to marry me, and I'm really glad I did that. But this is really up there in terms of questions I'm glad I asked.
And then I think now we can all have our long rest.
All right, get your long rest. So, John, you just until the next midnight, you can't heal back from that. Also, Pawson can't heal back those hit points until the next midnight.
Yeah,
So I don't get the hit points, but I get everything else.
Everything else, you got it. And you don't have exhaustion. I would have normally given you a level of exhaustion for the day, but sleeping in the Templus, it's like it takes care of that. I'm gonna say
a little sauna time.
You're in it. I will say the one thing is that you did hear some of the Percy talk of him, with Galwinia.
I mean, frankly, as much as he's trying to be discreet, Percy can't shut up about it.
No, he can't. He can't. This is like a big deal for him. It's like that time your girlfriend from finishing school fell in love with him, and also a little bit like that time when your girlfriend from down in the Mickelberg, the one when you were sort of like slumming it a little bit,
Slumming it.
She fell in love with Percy.
She didn't fall in love with him, but they definitely did it. All right. Basically, Percy has on many occasions, like literally taken one for the team to make sure that you don't like fall for and run away with a commoner like that.
Okay.
That is a true thing.
Okay.
So
I see that.
Well, I was going to say, I wake up in the morning and I step out onto the stairs of the temple and look out over the landscape and say, another day on this goddamn plateau.
The caravan is gone.
They're gone.
The caravan is
left
gone.
us.
Moved on in the night.
Yeah.
Bobby took off too.
Bobby is gone. The dwarves, the Cleaman dwarves are all there, laying down on top of their tents.
And we have Clea too still.
And you have Clea. Yep.
Yeah.
Wait, so the caravan's gone, but there's still like 100 and something dwarves.
It's like 20 stonecutters and then some of their families.
So not all of the Monteran stonecutters, just the ones from this particular clan.
So everybody else traveled by teleportation circle.
Mm-hmm.
These specific dwarves follow Gerelta, which is the god of roads and distance. And so they will not make travel easier. They walk everywhere. And so that's why
I bet they are a pain in the ass on a road trip.
I think they are a pain in the ass. Yep.
So I'm going to wake up not feeling super refreshed, but, happy that I've at least got my resources back. And I'm going to walk over to Mr. Percy. And I'll say, Mr. Percy, you made it through.
Oh, you made it through, Ionus. I'm so happy to see you.
I'm happy to see you as well. I'm sorry that you had to see me like that.
I've seen you much worse. I'm so happy that you're not coming to too much trouble without me.
Well, I always get in a little bit.
I brought my sword. Look.
Yes, you did. It's a great one. And you looked great in that plate armor.
No, thank you.
I've got to tell you, going through an ordeal like this makes me realize what's important in life. And,
oh dear.
I'd love to.
Oh no.
Get done what we need to get done, but I can't wait to go back. I can't wait to go back to Lakenhof. I think I'm in love with Fildn's sister.
Jonas?
I can't wait to tell her my feelings for her.
Good idea. Come, sit down over here. Come sit down over here, laddie.
Just a moment. And I walk over to the stone-coated dwarves.
All right. He sits down and he opens up a book and he starts flipping through and remembering how to do something.
All right. I walk over to the stone-coated dwarves, and I just say, I hope that we are square now, and I was still very serious. I do not want you to go to perform your duties at the Bramble Wall. I would rather you went to Lake and Hearth.
You got money? Can you help us start over again? My wife is only 87 years old. She still has time. She can have another baby.
My good dwarf, I've said it before. I will say it again. Those who help me reclaim my home will want for nothing.
Okay. And he opens up a scroll and he spreads it out on the ground and he says, "Show me where Lake and Hearth is." And it's a map of the Breen, but it's done on it's, you thought it was a scroll. It's actually the skin of a fox, and it has, you can now make out the general geographic features that they have punched in with just metal punches on it around. And as his finger moves over the map, you can see that it almost takes on a photorealistic reality to it. But it's clear there's places that he doesn't know about, and where he moves his finger over this leather hide where he has not been, it's just blank there. And he says, where? Show me.
All right. If I point to where it is, what happens?
So you feel compelled by the map to share your knowledge as you touch on the leather. Now you may remove your finger, or your thoughts and your knowledge of the land will be transcribed onto the leather fox pelt.
Okay. I show him where it is.
Okay. We shall walk there. And I thank you for showing us where the dangers are. We shall avoid it. Gerelta be with you, Master Silhavind.
And also with you. I shall see you again soon.
And they collect Clea, and they set off across the gift toward Red Cloud Mountain.
I turn back to Abel and Filnir. Gentlemen, are you ready to get out of here?
Very.
All right.
Yes. Wait, Jonas, I have one thing I'd like to do over here. Before...
We're on the move, Percy.
I think you need to have an earnest conversation with Mr. Percy.
Yes, very
Quickly.
Earnest. With your eyes closed so I can touch your eyeballs.
No, Percy.
Percy, I think...
It will help him take his headache away. His headache.
It's all right, Mr. Percy. It's all right.
Stand down, Percy.
Imagine for a moment he was having a bit of a laugh.
Ionus.
He shall not bask in the eternal sunshine of the spotless mind.
Ionus, I don't know how to say this to you, so I'll just come right out and say it. There have been times in your studies when you have been really into it. So too have I been into Galwinia. I would,
Percy, I don't know if you're very good at this.
I would happily step aside for you, but I'm afraid her heart already belongs to me. Abel, would you make sure you can grab his hands in case anything happens?
I slowly put my hand on Mr. Percy's shoulder.
And he
So,
is
Filnir, does that look like burning hands?
I think we're okay.
Some kind of blazer glory.
And then I point my finger at his face.
That's how he does the firebolt, Filnir. I'm nervous, Filnir.
I say, pardon me for having a bit of fun with you. I did overhear a bit of your conversation last night.
Not very nice, Ionus.
I believe sleeping with two of my girlfriends wasn't very nice either, Mr. Percy. But I tell you this.
Yes.
This is the last time.
Very well. I should also tell you, I've spoken to Galwinia many times now in the last few days. It turns out Filnir has another sister.
Oh, really? Well, all right, we'll speak of this again. Those half elves, I don't know. It's a weakness. Anyway.
You're a dirty dog.
I just nudge him with my elbow.
Sorry.
I have two other sisters. Perverts.
Filnir, please, I'm a man of the cloth.
So I'm going to take a deep breath and open up the scroll.
I'm looking forward to this. Going right into the blood to bathe in the Hark soldiers and the Monteran soldiers and just soldiers.
We'll see what happens, Paulson.
Yeah, Paulson, I don't know if that's... we're just going to the tip of the tongue, Dick.
Just the tip.
Just the tip.
So I try to explain.
We have to go to the
Abel.
teleportation circle first, right?
Do we have to?
I don't know.
I don't think we do.
Try it out.
All right. So I'm going to explain to Abel. I'm going to say, all right, Abel.
Do we need to join hands or summit?
This is what happened. I traced the name of the area I wanted to go to.
Don't do it. Wait, don't do it yet. Okay.
I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you right now.
Okay.
All right. And I I open the scroll. I take my
But just
wriggly
mime
finger.
it. Mime it. Don't do it for real.
And I just
We've
start.
had
I'm
this
not
problem
listening.
before. I feel
I'm
like
not
where
listening.
you did it for real, and then something bad happened.
I'm not listening to Abel anymore. I am tracing the TONDICK.
And your finger, so the scroll rolls up in your hand, and your griggly finger, shoots into it, and it grows to be the size of the scroll, and it pokes out the other side. So it's at least 12 inches long now, and it's a blue light is shining out of it, and it's currently pointed like at the Templus.
Mm-hmm.
And on the wall of the Templus, you see a cloud of smoke, and you see down into the cloud of smoke, you see a teleportation circle with the runes on the outside of it, TONDICK. And you hear somewhere in the distance the sound of forks and knives scraping plates. And thus ends episode 44 of Every War Must End, the Dungeon Dads podcast.
They're eating in that dick, Jonas.
Poor John.
Good grief.
Poor John.
I can't handle it.
I mean, you started this.
I think we just have to go toodaloo. I
We
mean, what do you do
did
from there?
I almost feel bad for participating in this.
Sam, we're 44 episodes in. You can't be surprised.
Yeah, you can't be
Yeah,
surprised.
yeah.
No, that's true. That's
Seriously.
true.
All right. Well, come back to the bonus episode, everybody, when we explore, their various ideas of what they might do when they get into the 2,000-pound penis.
We might actually leave Robert's gift.
We're gonna leave Robert's gift.
Not this episode.
Not this. You spent a long time in your sauna. I just want to say that. Like, some of this is on you. Some of this is on you.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
Worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
All right,
I
everybody.
mean, how many times when you're out on the road do you get a sauna?
Not
Right?
often. Apparently
Gotta
now,
savor-
every day
savor those moments.
that you take part in glorious combat. Apparently.
I'm totally relashed.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Toodaloo, everybody.
Toodaloo.
Toodaloo.
Chubba